What is success? Finding number 1, those with the growth mindset found success in doing their best, in learning and improving. And this is exactly what we find in the champions. Jackelyn Joyner Kersee is a retired American track and field athlete, ranked among the all-time greatest athletes in the heptathlon as well as long jump. She won 3 gold, 1 silver, and 2 bronze Olympic medals in those 2 events at 4 different Olympic Games. Sports Illustrated for Women magazine voted Joyner Kersee the greatest female athlete of all time.
For me, the joy of athletics has never resided in winning, Jackie Joyner Kersee tells us. I derive just as much happiness from the process as from the results. I don't mind losing as long as I see improvement or I feel I've done as well as I possibly could. If I lose, I just go back to the track and work some more.
Jhon Robert Wooden, October 14, 1910 – June 4, 2010, was an American basketball coach and player. Nicknamed the Wizard of Westwood, he won 10 National Collegiate Athletic Association (NCAA) national championships in a 12-year period as head coach for the UCLA Bruins, including a record 7 in a row. No other team has won more than 4 in a row in Division I college men's or women's basketball. Within this period, his teams won an NCAA men's basketball record 88 consecutive games. Wooden won the prestigious Henry Eba Award as National Coach of the Year a record 7 times and won the AP Award 5 times.
This idea that personal success is when you work your hardest to become your best was central to Jhon Wooden's life. In fact, he says, there were many games that gave me as much pleasure as any of the 10 national championship games we won, simply because we prepared fully and played near our highest level of ability. Tiger Woods and Mia Hamm are 2 of the fiercest competitors who ever lived. They love to win, but what counted most for them is the effort they made even when they didn't win. They could be proud of that. After the '98 Masters tournament, Woods was disappointed that he did not repeat his win of the previous year, but he felt good about his top 10 finish. I squeezed the towel dry this week. I'm very proud of the way I hung in there. Or after a British Open, where he finished 3rd. Sometimes you get even more satisfaction out of creating a score when things aren't completely perfect, when you're not feeling so well about your swing.
Tiger is a hugely ambitious man. He wants to be the best, even the best ever. But the best me, that's a little more important. Mia Hamm tells us, after every game or practice, if you walk off the field knowing that you gave everything you had, you will always be a winner. Why did the country fall in love with her team? They saw that we truly love what we do and that we gave everything we had to each other and to each game.
I can go win or I can lose. And it's that inner confidence that you gotta have to take that chance.
Sisters that played, and my dad would referee their games, so I pretty much spent most of my Saturdays at the soccer field. I realized when I was very young that I loved to win. I didn't say I want to be the best player in the world. There were times when I felt I was, and then there were days I felt like I couldn't even tie my own shoes. But I knew every time I stepped on the field, whether it be practice or a game, I wanted to be a factor in winning.
For those with the fixed mindset, success is about establishing their superiority, pure and simple. Being that somebody who is worthier than the nobodies. There was a time, I'll admit it, McEnroe says, when my head was so big it could barely fit through the door. Where's the talk about effort and personal best? There is none. Some people don't want to rehearse, they just want to perform. Other people want to practice 100 times first. I'm in the former group. Remember, in the fixed mindset, effort is not a cause for pride. It is something that casts doubt on your talent. What is failure?
Finding number 2, those with the growth mindset found setbacks motivating. They're informative. They're a wake-up call. Only once did Michael Jordan try to coast. It was the year he returned to the Bulls after his stint in baseball, and he learned his lesson. The Bulls were eliminated in the playoffs. You can't leave and think you can come back and dominate this game. I will be physically and mentally prepared from now on. Truer words are rarely spoken. The Bulls won the NBA title the next 3 years. Michael Jordan embraced his failures. In fact, in one of his favorite ads for Nike, he says, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times, I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot, and missed." You can be sure that each time, he went back and practiced the shot 100 times.
Let me turn it. What's your greatest disappointment in sports? I haven't had any disappointments. I mean, sports is a tool that teaches, and it teaches you bad things. It can also teach you good things. It's how you perceive those things. I've looked at every experience that I've had, negative and positive, and taken that as a positive. If I wouldn't change anything because I think it would alter some of the other things that happened. So when I look back, I can't say that I've had any bad things happen. Sure, I mean, you don't want bad things to happen, but you deal with bad things. You can't have good or without bad.
Here's how Karim Abdul-Jabbar, the great basketball player, reacted when college basketball outlawed his signature shot, the dunk, later reinstated. Many thought that would stop his ascent to greatness. Instead, he worked twice as hard on developing other shots, his bank shot off the glass, his skyhook, and his turnaround jumper. He had absorbed the growth mindset from Coach Wooden and put it to good use.
But also, to help inspire them, I tell my daughters all the time, if you don't participate, I can tell you for certain you will not have a chance of winning. But if you participate, you always have a chance. And in the end, isn't that what everyone wants? You just have to do it. You have to believe that you're worth it. And believe me, when you make that decision, you are worth it.
Failure in the fixed mindset.
Jhon Mcenroe could never stand the thought of losing. Even worse was the thought of losing to someone who was a friend or relative. That would make him less special. For example, he hoped desperately for his best friend, Peter, to lose in the finals at Maui after Peter had beaten him in an earlier round. He wanted it so badly he couldn't watch the match. Another time, he played his brother Patrick in a finals in Chicago, and said to himself, "God, if I lose to Patrick, that's it. I'm jumping off the Sears Tower." Here's how failure motivated him. In 1979, he played mixed doubles at Wimbledon. He didn't play mixed doubles again for 20 years. Why? He and his partner lost in 3 straight sets. Plus, McEnroe lost his serve twice, while no one else lost theirs even once. That was the ultimate embarrassment. I said, "That's it. I'm never playing again. I can't handle this." Taking charge of success. Finding number 3, people with the growth mindset in sports, as in pre-med chemistry, took charge of the processes that bring success and that maintain it. How come Michael Jordan's skill didn't seem to decline with age? He did lose some stamina and agility with age, but to compensate, he worked even harder on conditioning and on his moves, like the turnaround jump shot and his celebrated fall-away jumper. He came into the league as a slam dunker and he left as the most complete player ever to grace the game.
I think that I thrive on that. I think that's my biggest motivation in life, is to compete, find different competitions in certain things in life and try to overcome that, be it positive or negative. But I have yet to meet someone who is as competitive as me, and I just feel that much confident about my competitive drive.
Woods, too, took charge of the process. Golf is like a wayward lover. When you think you've conquered her, she will certainly desert you. Butch Harmon, the renowned coach, says the golf swing is just about the farthest thing from a perfectible discipline in athletics. The most reliable swings are only relatively repeatable. They never stop being works in progress. That's why even the biggest golf star wins only a fraction of the time, and may not win for long periods of time, which happened to Woods even at the height of his career. And that's also why taking charge of the process is so crucial.
Elaborate on why I said myself more so than another athlete is that because a lot of times I had to battle with myself to keep challenging myself. That to me was why I would say that the biggest battle was myself, because when you get to a certain pinnacle, you got to find some ways to keep going out there for 82 games.
Because in the fixed mindset, you don't take control of your abilities and your motivation. You look for your talent to carry you through, and when it doesn't, well then, what else could you have done? You are not a work in progress, you're a finished product. And finished products have to protect themselves, lament, and blame. Everything but take charge.
On boys teams until I was probably 14. And I remember that was one of the great things about making the national team. I grew up in a small town in Texas and had to fight every day to, one, be included and two, be seen as somewhat normal and made the national team. It was like, wow, there are other girls and women across the country that are just as passionate and just as competitive as I am. And it was nice for a change, not being kicked around by the